Hi, this is the Be Well with Michelle Greenwell podcast. Our heartwarming conversation is designed to lift you on your wellness journey. Grab your cup of tea and enjoy the podcast. Welcome to Be Well with Michelle Greenwell, and I am so excited to have Natascha here today. It's been a while since her and I have had a good chat about some of our favorite topics, and today is Can Be Well. So, Natascha, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure, and I can't wait to see what comes out of it.
Today, what we're doing is we're celebrating Podcasthon, and this is over 2,600 podcasts across 65 countries that are shining a light on not-for-profits. And today, Natascha and I decided we would shine a light on Can Be Well, the Canadian Association of BioEnergetic Wellness, one organization that we have put our heart and soul into, really, and we're very passionate about. And it's celebrating its 42nd year this April. And so we want to just give a little bit of the highlights about this organization and how you might become involved with it, or maybe as a fundraising endeavor for you, you might be willing to send some efforts our direction so we can advance some of our work. But let's give you a background. So Can Be Well has a remarkable history of both with members and the public, providing resources, education, and advocacy for holistic well-being. And our specialized classes and workshops help with advocacy efforts. Can Be Well continues to push the boundaries of what a wellness-focused organization can achieve. To shine a light on this, we are going to bring forward the roles that we play on this organization. Natascha is currently the treasurer and bookkeeper, and other little ideas in between that tend to pop in. And I'm the president of the association since 2020. We always start the podcast with setting the bioenergetic wellness formula for healing into action. We want you, the listener, to be able to have a healing session while you listen. So you're learning something, but you're also pampering yourself at the same time. And we invite you to consider this organization that could be supported by your financial support or by your volunteer support, and maybe other ways of involvement we haven't thought of yet, which can create a ripple effect for others. And we'd like you to consider a goal right now while you're listening to this podcast. Perhaps you want to consider where your energy's at, maybe the activism that you are currently involved in, a way that you might be able to support not-for-profit like Can Be Well, and then maybe what involvement might look like. Now, this is a normal kind of goal that we're putting in place, but we want to think bigger than we've been thinking. We want to really expand our outreach and the opportunities that people like you provide to organizations like Can Be Well. To bring this all together, I always ask my guests what's in their cup. So, Natascha, what have you got beside you today?
I've got a clear cup of water because water can be infused with intention. And my intention today is to be supported so I can be my best.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at how simple that was. I love it. And we just have to take that time to realize how much the water can hold in messaging, and that we can infuse anything into there. So thank you for shining the light on that. So now I'm going to shine a light on a tea. And Natascha and I started the Cape Breton Tea Company together. And just at the time that we separated to go into our own projects, Playtime got created. We lost our mentor, Greg Webb, a longtime board member, 26 years he served on our board. And we wanted to honor him with a tea. So Playtime is what I have in my mug today. And I want to share a little bit about the power of this tea. It is a chocolate and mint with apple blossoms. And the reason for that is when we put the apple blossoms in, that's something that Greg was always loving about Canada and the way that he could interact with nature. And to be in Kelowna, BC was one of his favorite things to do, and seeing the apple blossoms in bloom. Now, these herbs all provide us with a sense of connection to the earth and to the universe, and they have a focus on nurturing and inspiring with ease and grace. So I'm going to share the affirmation that's on the package that you can add to your water if that's what you're infusing today. And if you've got a tea with you, then you might be able to engage with the herbs. The affirmation is every day is precious and inspiring when offering love and joy to others in all that you do. And that's kind of what, Natascha, you said as you were infusing your water, really. Yeah.
Yeah. Intentions can be so easy. And that's one of the big parts that we embraced with Can Be Well a lot. Coming from another partner in the beginning, but we've taken it to I don't know where. Like I think you can. There's not much further you can take it, because we implement it in everything we do. Be that a board meeting, be that a creation of an event, be that the event itself, or like we do right now, the podcasting.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay, let's shine a light on 2 ingredients so we can bring them to the forefront today. So the spiritual essence of carob. So this is a chocolate mint tea, but it has also carob pieces in it, not carrot, carob, which goes back 5,000 years. So when we start to think of the longevity of that kind of an ingredient going into a tea, that you are able to access the history and the memories of well over 5,000 years. It's an incredible resource to have within your mug. As a grounding source, it's the power of carob, which has been felt for deep meditation, calming mental clarity, and finding a sense of belonging both within oneself and in one's community. And I'm going to partner that today with the safflower petals, which are known as lucky charms. These support leading one to the positive aspects of life: longevity, love, passion, and healing. And together we can feel the power of these herbs combined with the black tea, the cocoa, peppermint, lily, along with apple blossoms, and there's even some hazelnut. And I'm going to just draw attention to the apple blossoms because I did say that was something that Greg so loved. Apple blossoms are leading us to future abundance and the sweetness of love and renewal. We wrap all this up. It's just packed with richness for all that we desire and all we deserve. So from the perspective of your goal setting today, as you listen to this podcast, thinking about how the richness of this history, but these ingredients to provide you with just a sweetness to bring forward and abundance. And for Can Be Well, as we shine a light on it, we're looking for new ways to partner with people and to inspire people to be a part of this incredible organization and what it can help with self-empowerment and self-care. All right. That gets us all in place. So I'm going to say cheers. Natascha, thank you for joining me. And I'll just bring my mug where we can see it. And I'll just have a sip here. And that sets us in motion for a healing session. And Natascha, let's dive into some of the work of Can Be Well. Do you want to share a bit about the advocacy work that we've been offering to the public and for health and wellness?
Part of our mandate is to inform about responsible self-care. And we have different partner organizations that we work with. But a big part is in raising the awareness that we actually have the tools at hand with the BioEnergetic wellness tools to help ourselves. And we've been doing that with events. We've been doing that with summits and all kinds of things. It has slowed down the last few years, unfortunately, as we couldn't meet in person. But the interesting part is everybody who gets to know muscle monitoring or muscle biofeedback and the tools that we use is usually very astounded that it's possible that you can help yourself with so simple tools. And that's what I love about Can Be Well and its work and its partner work. Because when you start diving into it, there's no end to it. There's endless possibilities where you can help yourself. And you can probably talk more about the advocacy because you've been the one instigating the partnerships. You've been the one as the president creating new opportunities and openings with Akama University. So the collaborations that were created. So maybe you want to take that further.
I would love to share those organizations. Our partners also work with, and I love how you said that, the muscle biofeedback, because a lot of times it's just described as muscle testing. And when you said muscle biofeedback, I thought, how rich is that? The biofeedback that we can gain from our bodies, and we can access different organ systems. We can find out how the body is doing and then being able to bring that free. So I thank you for stating it the way that you did. We have partnered with organizations that also have biofeedback, whether that is through a muscle or whether that's the sensing in the hands. So we have Natural Bioenergetics Global, which is, they're all over the world. They have a very specific protocol that Jimmy Scott brought forward in his work. And we have Brain Gym Canada, bringing forward all of the brain gym work that came from the Denisons. And so it's lovely to have all of that work coming forward in a movement-based perspective. And then we have the Atlantic Therapeutic Touch Network, which you and I have been very involved with because we both love therapeutic touch. And then we also now have the Therapeutic Touch Network of Canada. And that brings together all the networks across the country, all under one umbrella. And so we also have them as a partner. And those organizations all have ways of finding out from the body and the systems what's happening, what does it need to be able to come into balance. And it's lovely. Everybody has a different approach, but we also are working together to combine some of our techniques, but also to share our knowledge out to the world and to be supportive to each other in how we market, which is great.
The educational factor that has happened through those partnerships is amazing. Because all of a sudden we shifted from not us, because we've done that before, otherwise we wouldn't have instigated it, but to see how much wider your perception was, how much more you can learn and you can communicate with the body when you have a little bit of an inkling of the other disciplines. And that's what the partners brought to the table. And creating the partnerships allows us to teach and educate in all of those partnerships. And so Therapeutic Touch can come in and teach us as Touch for Health basis, or we can go and Touch for Health can bring valuable input to Therapeutic Touch or natural bioenergetics. Brain Gym has some great tools and exercises that can help integrate. And all of that all of a sudden comes together. And intention was a big part of that we both learned through Therapeutic Touch or Atlantic Therapeutic Touch Network when we were partners there. We still are, but as in our role as a member there, we took that and we brought it into Can Be Well. And now Can Be Well is so on the forefront and trying to create the communities, trying to create the part that we need to be more open, to be more receptive, all of that.
And as we are all realizing, we need a better model for self-care, modeled on healthcare at the moment. It's modeled on symptomology. And what we want to really be bringing to the forefront for the public and for moving forward is to work as an ecosystem. How do we sit within nature, and how are we in balance and harmony with nature? And we do that by taking care of ourselves first, making sure we're in balance and harmony, and then also making sure we're caring for our community or into the world. And that model is one that we need to advance.
If you look at our participation at the World Mental Health Day, for instance, that's such a huge educational part. And what I love is that we bring a connection, which I learned through my work, the connection to the body, because often when you're stuck in your mind, you're neglecting your body. Muscle monitoring gives you the tool to communicate with your body and take that circle of thoughts that tries to provide you with a opinion, if you want to call it that way, a fixed opinion, instead of giving you the option to talk to your body and see if it's just that or if there's more that's coming into play. And that's where I value the educational part and all those events that we created so much. You want to share a little bit more about World Mental Health Day? Because again, it's one of your biggest projects that I love. You are so amazing in creating those pockets that go big in buckets.
And bring a choreographer in and you never know what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where my dance background really does come forward. At World Mental Health Day, the first time that we did it, which was in 2024, we wanted to acknowledge the World Day, which is on October the 10th. We partnered with the International Association of Specialized Kinesiology, known as IASC, and we wanted to reach around the globe. So what we did is we went to all of the partners and we asked them to provide something for mental health that came from that partner organization. And it was a great way for us to get to know all of the different modalities, bringing them forward. And then in 2025, we wanted to see if we could raise how people were talking about bioenergetic wellness, self-care, self-empowerment. And so we asked for presenters from around the globe. Both years, we were able to do 3 presentations. So bringing presentations from different time zones and bringing that all together. In 2025, we had 12 presentations across the 3 time zones. But what was really cool with this one was the year before, we realized people had handouts that they wanted to share. And we quickly put together a handout that accompanied everything. But in 2025, we decided, let's put it together as a book. And so as everybody brought forward all the pieces they wanted to make sure that they were sharing and that were hands-on for people to participate in, it went into the book and we actually published the book, which was so cool. So in 2025, we did mental health in the workplace, and we have that sitting on the canbewell.org website right on the front. There's 2 free ebooks there, and the World Mental Health Day one is right there. And so that was really, really interesting to have a global perspective.
And it's not only the book that's available, because the recordings are there usually too. So
Exactly.
you can find a lot of interesting videos on the YouTube channel that Can Be Well has. It might be not the way you think, but you have the possibility to look into and get a glimpse. Sometimes there's short videos that we did in small exercises or whatever, especially in the beginning. I remember Facebook Live videos every week. But a lot of the events, when you take a look at the events and see the recording, even if it's a recording, there's a lot of value in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful presentations. So that was a big project, took a lot of effort, brought together some amazing people. And I have to say, each of these projects, it's the opportunity to have conversations with all kinds of colleagues from around the world. We're doing some amazing work around the world, but it always is a beautiful reflection to come back to Canada and the work that we're doing here and the expertise we have in Canada. It is phenomenal. And so these projects help bring out some of those conversations so we get to know each other a little bit better. And some of the things we don't really talk about when we're doing our community chats, and then we find out about what the person has in experience with different kinds of health challenges, disabilities, mental capacity. It is just phenomenal as people bring their work forward.
It's and I got to remember Greg, our former vice president, who we unfortunately lost, because he was always the one who had so much knowledge, and then in the middle of the sentence he would go, and now on another note, and then he would put in some humor. So it was never a dry presentation or monologue or whatever. It was always an aha moment that was in laughter. And I think that's a lot of us with Can Be Well. We value that it's not all just theory. It's practical, it's life, and life can be sad or happy, but we're trying to bring it to the lighter side. Mm-hmm. And that's what we try to install in others, to bring them to a life that's happy, that's valued, that's not just work, not just family, stress, overwhelm, whatever you want to call it, but it's giving you the tips and tools that you can better your life yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the biggest accomplishments that I love for Can Be Well and its members, who have, as we know now, since last year, year before, we have 3 doctorates with BioEnergetic Wellness and honorables. Then you have your doctorate with the BioEnergetic Wellness. I have my master's, which was the first diploma that was like a study, not as an honorable. Things would have never happened without Can Be Well, because nobody thought that way until we started changing the name, which was another big step from specialized kinesiology to bioenergetic wellness. And that opened up the world to a totally new concept of community, of togetherness, of not being focused discipline, but being part of a bigger picture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when you say bioenergetic wellness, and as we were talking about needing a new format to be able to think about how we bring about the very best for ourselves every day in self-care, this is how we do it, by looking at what is our wellness. And we're not focused on symptoms. We're focused on how we find ease and joy, how we find that flow in the day, and being able to advance that idea forward.
The other part too is when we learn to communicate with our own body, we also learn to read the outside better, which makes us better practitioners, because we can work for the person that we're working with in a totally different context than when we are just the practitioner or facilitator. And that's another big point for Can Be Well, because that knowledge came with the partnerships. That knowledge came with we are bioenergetic wellness. We're not just one discipline.
Exactly. I'll bring forward here our Legacy Leader Awards, because for the last 2 years, we wanted to shine a light on some of the work that our colleagues have been doing, and also the partnerships they've been doing globally. So not just staying, doing their own thing in their own silo, but actually reaching out and helping to move ideas forward, or being able to collaborate with other people with their ideas in order to come up with a new idea, this new way of thinking. And those Legacy Leader Awards was a great way for us to shine a light on some of the projects. And I'm saying that because if you go to the YouTube channel and check out what we've done, we have those projects listed up there. And the videos are available of what was submitted in the applications, but also what happened during the award ceremonies, which is also really fun.
One of those projects was the Bioenergetic Essentials book, which is also part of our, it's not Legacy, it was the year before, but it's also an award that was created and she disappears.
There we go.
This book, and again, it was a collaboration, us two and other colleagues, Tanya and Paula. We took what we thought would be beneficial for everybody to do self-care, be that a grown-up, be that a kid, be that anybody who needs it. And we wrote the book and we put it for free on the website. So that's another resource that is there available. And I love this book because it's so simple. But it's so powerful.
And we wrote it during the pandemic, so it was at a time when we weren't able to be in community. So a lot of when John Thie brought together the tools for the Touch for Health system, it was to be able to help your neighbor, to do a balance on someone else, and that was not going to be possible. So in what way could we reframe our whole system and bring it into a place where we could do those self-care tools ourselves, and we could share them with someone, but we wouldn't have to necessarily be in the same room with them, and we could just pass it forward. And so that book is very handy.
Yeah, one of I would say my proudest moments. It's cool when you learn that what you learn, and you know my story. I started all my courses because I needed them, just
Mhm.
then to become a facilitator, but or professional, and to see how your own story brings forward something that can help so many others is just so wonderful.
Mhm.
And it's nothing complicated. We try to keep it really simple so the kids can understand it. Mom can read it to the kid and the kid can implement. And I remember the first time I taught my nieces, being like 6 and 7, something like that, about therapeutic touch. No, not therapeutic touch at that time, but still bioenergetic wellness tool as therapeutic touch, balancing the energy field and assessing. And they took it in a stride and they made it a game, and then they started checking, and when I learned it, the body pendulum, or again muscle biofeedback, became a cool tool to buy presents, because when I wasn't sure, I could always ask my body. My body would know. My mind was not in a place where it could remember or could focus. I would doubt. I wouldn't trust myself, and that's a big thing that I gained with Touch for Health and muscle biofeedback, was trusting my body, trusting myself,
Mhm.
which is one of the biggest gifts that you can give somebody.
Exactly. Yeah. I wanted to shine a light a little bit onto our public newsletter. And the public newsletter has an opportunity for us. We are using wellness days. I'm going to say it that way. So very often, it could be Eye Care Month. It could be World Children's Health Day. We try to pull those healthcare days to be able to shine a light on how we look at those kinds of topics. And in our public newsletter, which we release at the start of each month, we have an opportunity to shine a light on some of the tools that can support those particular topics for that month, but also then the opportunity to have those tools that people can share out with clients and friends and just pass the newsletter forward. And it's been a wonderful way to have another way to do outreach.
Yeah, you don't always have to study a full course. It's beneficial to have it, and I love anybody to take them because it takes them further. But even if you just have those tidbits and tiny bits, they can be already very beneficial and very helpful. And if they bring you further, then why not take a level 1? Why not go a step further and bring it into your life? I know everything that I learned, all my disciplines have become integral parts of my life, that they're there like every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's funny because as one of the colleagues, Evelyn Mulder, said this last week on one of the meetings that she was hosting, and she said it's a giant leap to leap into this bioenergetic wellness work, because you have to let go of a lot of ideas that are no longer valid or true.
Yeah.
And when you take that leap forward, you never go back. Mm-hmm. And it's such an incredible piece to look back and go, thank goodness I took that step. And we're both nodding our heads because both of us, yes, we came from broken parts where we finally had to pay attention to our bodies, and we were able to come to the wellness side. So now we function within the wellness side. And oh my goodness, but I've never looked back on making that decision, and the friends and the colleagues that we've had.
The interesting part too is that we might not be healed completely. We might not be cured, but we come to a place where we're in a good place. Mm-hmm. And that's I think is the biggest gift that you can give somebody, that they can pull themselves out of the quagmire.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. So as you're listening, as you're listening to the podcast and you're thinking about how you might engage with us, I just thought I would shine a light on, you can get to our website at canbewell.org. When you're on that main page, you can see on the right-hand side, there's a button for donations. So if you feel that you could support us in any way, we're happy for you to hit that button, Below that is 2 more buttons. Those are for the free ebooks that we have available. And we would be happy for you to take those books, pass them as far and wide as you can. At the bottom of that main page, you're going to see our partner organizations, and you see their logos, and you link directly to them if there's anything that's of interest to you. And then from there, you can go to the classes page. And that's across the top, you've got a couple selections of things you can look at. So if you go across to there's workshops and there's classes. The classes are where many of our full-time practitioners, facilitators are. They have listed the different classes they are running. Many of them they're offering all the time. So some of them are evergreen in that you can sign in anytime, and we would love for you to find those. In the workshop section, you're going to find the events that we have running. And right now, there's some community chats in there. We have some special videography workshops that we've been doing, and we've got our AGM coming up. But we usually have also our other workshops that are listed there, and we're diving into some really great topics. So that's a great place to keep your eye and to come and join us as well. Anything you wanted to add about the website, Natascha?
No. Well, Akamai University, which is part of where we did our studies and which we partnered up with, is an interesting part. And it shows that we are diving deeper into education and research, which is also why funding would be great, because we usually try to provide our people who go out and do the learning part in order to educate later better with some funds so they can have a little bit an easier time. And research is still, I think, underrated in our area. So need is there. Also make it easier for others to understand what's happening. If you're not considered the alternative, which we're not, we're complementary. It becomes different, right? Unfortunately, you need the standing, even so we all have the experience, the lived experience, and can vouch for it. So yeah, that's the only thing that I would like to mention.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Your vision for 2030 till 2030. What is that? Because I want to hear that.
2030. I've been really the last couple of years leading towards, we've had the Legacy Leader Awards, we've done the World Mental Health Day. This last year, I've focused on raising awareness about looking at the spirituality of healing, which is a topic we kind of talk about, but we've never really been able to kind of grasp. So we've brought that in, and I did that on purpose, leading us towards being able to write journal articles, abstracts, and lead us into being ready to do research. And there are some people really interested, scared because they've never done it before, but we know we're ready. We know we have the tools, the protocols. The Legacy Leader Awards have shown us we have high quality, solid programs and books and different kinds of products that are doing amazing work. Sounds like the wrong word to put there, but amazing opportunities for people to find self-care and self-empowerment in their wellness journey. And what we are going to be lined up to be able to do is take the money that comes in for research and be able to be ready for it. And that's never been a possibility across all of the years. So in 2030, it would be just lovely to see several research projects having been completed and the write-ups finished. And so we can showcase for people who are looking for how to be well, some very basic tools that get them started. And that's where we want to start. By 2030, I hope we're diving into a few more deeper, juicy things. But that impact to the public is they're going to be able to find us. And for people who have no answers in the medical model, we want them finding us so that we can show them we have tools. They may be the tools that they're looking for. And we can say, yes, these tools work. They're scientifically researched, evidence-based.
I think one of the biggest struggles that we have is that people still don't realize how much emotions play into our health and how much they're stuck in our body.
Mhm.
And there's not much research on that. But again, as we're working with it, we know it. We've seen the changes that happen when you remove an emotion out of the body, how pain can fade and whatever. So yes, I'm all for that, and I'm excited to see what comes, because having seen legacy awards, how much knowledge has been there, and even books been published and projects been run, and nobody ever thought to put them in a study. That's the thing, right? Because we didn't know how to. And I think that's where research has come a long way, not just being on numbers anymore, but being actually on stories and focused on the other valid parts that can be shown. Opens the way for us to now go further and showcase what this is what can happen.
I would like to share an example, and what we didn't mention when we were mentioning the partners was the incredible partnership we have with Muscle Tuners International, Denise Cambiotti. And I want to shine a light specifically here on Denise, because Denise has taken the Touch for Health protocols. She has created some incredible shortcut techniques that come through her programming, and she has set up an evergreen program. So it doesn't operate the same as our other partners who are more of the interactive, involved piece. She has the opportunity, people can study at their own pace. They can study from their living rooms. And even though they're doing muscle work and they're working on movement-based patterns, she has built the platform to be able to support passing knowledge forward. She also houses Greg Webb's 4 DVDs on the muscle, I'm going to say it this way, the muscle response testing, which matches up with what physiotherapy, massage therapy, and osteopathy are using. And that is available. And she's got that as part of what comes out of her programming. But what I'm going to shine a light on, so people who are listening, if you have funding available for research, that you could support us, or you could help us to get the word out in marketing or anything like that. Denise and I have been working on looking at functional assessment tools, which is the regular model that is used in the medical model. And what we've realized is that it isn't a functional test that we need to be looking at. It needs to be an integrative one. And we have put that together. So on the cutting edge of where do we need to go in that new model, Denise is bringing forward a whole new way to look at programming and what it's going to mean for people who are trained in physiotherapy, massage therapy, osteopathy, kinesiology, first aid. It's going to mean a completely different way of looking at how they assess and bring awareness of the person that's in front of them, and then what's going to be responded off of that. So that is a secret. As people are getting that, listening to this podcast, that has not been released anywhere yet. And we are so excited. But you can see how we have this in the works. We are setting ourselves up to be ready. And when the time is right and everything comes together, we know it's going to be an incredible impact on our community, on Canada, and then the way that the rest of the globe is looking at how we're putting things together, because we definitely are thinking differently as Canadians.
Not us just Canadians, but Greenwell is a bunch of pioneers. That's how you have to say it. And it draws pioneers. So if you want to be part of the pioneers, come on and join us and see what you can bring to the table. And again, the neat thing is the community, we have created so many collaborations and found so many collaborations within the members and also to the outside that has brought all of us so much further and so many new ideas.
Now, maybe funding isn't something that you have. You're listening to the podcast. You've gained a lot of knowledge today. Maybe you're willing to volunteer. Maybe you have some time. We would love some help in the office. That would be lovely, because all of us are volunteers on top of the work that we do. And so maybe you have some time that you can give. Maybe you have some organizational skills. Maybe you have the opportunity for doing videos or social media, helping us out with some of those aspects. The sky's the limit, what you could be supporting us with. And we would love to have a conversation and have you bring forward some new ideas for us. All right, Natascha, anything you think we missed?
I don't think so.
What I would invite, because thank you for listening and listening to the end of this podcast. What I would invite you to do is think about some of the ideas we presented for 2030, some of the ideas for a new wellness model. And if you would like to take your fingertips and put them on your forehead on the ESR points, emotional stress release, you just hold them really lightly across your forehead. Take a couple deep breaths. We're going to just take the picture that all of us have for a society, for our communities to be looking at our wellness and looking how we bring harmony and balance to that. We'll bring that playtime tea back around with the beautiful ancient ingredients, bring us history, bring us resilience. And we offer to you as you go about your day, balance to your goal, and a balance for finding the right tools for your wellness every day. All right. Natascha, thank you for coming along for this conversation. It has been such a gem.
Thank you for having me.
Take care, everyone, and please check out canbewell.org. Check out all of our partners there, and we look forward to seeing you check out the YouTube channel, the blog, and all the resources that we've mentioned today. Take care. Thank you for listening to Be Well with Dr. Michelle Greenwell. There are a couple of resources I want to just point out. When you go to the website, greenwellcenter.com, you'll have a pop-up window. That pop-up gives you the top 8 easy stress releasers that you can use every day. That's something you can put beside your computer, the bathroom mirror, beside the bedside table. A great resource. Also, my YouTube channel. It is full of playlists with all kinds of different ways that you can activate energy and bring vitality into your day. You can find that when you go to YouTube at Michelle Greenwell. And last, if you're a Linktree person, Linktree, linktr.ee/Greenwell Center. That has all my resources in one spot. Those are for intricate little things that you can't get everywhere. And it's a wonderful way for me to be able to share all the different aspects of the kind of work I do. So thank you for listening. Be sure to drink that tea. And if you want to have the tea blend that was shared in the podcast today, then be sure to check out capebretontea.ca. Have a wonderful day.